What's up, my friends? Welcome to the You Are the Rockstar Show, episode 5. Super excited to be here today. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join me. And I'm really excited to announce that I have my first sponsor on the show, and that is Presence, a meditation app. It's like a meditation and mindfulness app that offers well-being for everybody. It uses mindfulness tools to strengthen your connection to yourself, your relationships, and technology. Helps you to pause, meditate, and reflect daily. And I personally have recorded some meditations for Presence. You can check them out. I'll put the link below, whether you're watching this or listening to it. I'll put it in the bio of whatever streaming modality you choose to consume content. So head over there and check it out. It's a really awesome app with an amazing team behind it. So definitely check it out. I'm also really excited today because I finally have my audio working, and I thought last episode my audio was working, and when I went to edit it, I realized it was not. So now we are actually here in much higher quality, and I hope that provides a little bit more clarity to some of the things that we talk about. But live and learn as we grow. So today's episode is called Your Circumstance Does Not Define You, Your Reaction Does. And anyone who's read my book, You Are the Rockstar, you know this is a line from the beginning of the book, from chapter 2. And we start there talking about, how our circumstances aren't a reflection of who we are, and our action, which in that phrase I was speaking of reaction, is something that speaks more about kind of who we are on the inside than the circumstance that we're in. And I just want to unpack that today a little bit more to provide some clarity, because I took this amazing course this week. It was with this man named Sadhguru, and at first I was a little skeptical. I don't have like the most positive relationship with the word guru. I just think there's a lot of people out there that manipulate other people into believing that they know how to live and they know the right way to live, and take advantage of people and their energy. So I kind of get turned off by that word a little bit. But I went in with an open mind, and I did his online 7-day, it's like 7 lectures that you do each day. And there's like meditative practices as well as really informative lectures. And it was mind blowing. I had the best time. I haven't had that much peace of mind and clarity since I've been able to attend a Kundalini yoga class, which is kind of like it's like my yin and yang when I have my physical practice of yoga, and then the other side, like the yin side of it, which is its own practice of yoga. But from my perspective, the yang is the physical practice, the yin is the meditative practice, and Kundalini is that for me. And I haven't been able to go to a class in a hot minute because of everything going on. So I've been doing my practice in the morning, but I felt so great after doing each one of those. I was high. I was walking around my house, and some of my homies were like, yo, like, you good? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just floating around over here, because it's that potent. And a lot of the stuff he spoke on was very digestible stuff that for some people can be complex, but he makes it simple. And I'm a big fan of that, because I think anyone who's an expert at guiding or sharing is only an expert if they can make topics digestible for other people. And that's what I tried to do in my book, was just to make stuff that I found a little bit complex, digestible for people. But this guy's on a whole other level. He is someone that, after listening to him speak, whole different vibration. Highly recommend checking him out. Totally embodies, the guide, the mystic, all the epic adjectives and that you could use to describe a really badass human being that is a spirit in this human experience. And so he was talking about this idea that we are all responsible, and we all have a responsibility in our life. And of course, I'm paraphrasing here, because I'm just beginning kind of learning about his teachings and whatnot. But he talked about responsibility. And that's what this quote in my book really is getting at the heart of, is this responsibility that we all have, and not in a traditional sense, like you might think. It's a response ability, meaning we all have the ability to respond, right? So we all have the ability to respond to everything in the world. And whether we like it or not, we're always responding to the world around us, meaning we are in the world. It does not define us. The circumstance does not define us, but our ability to react to the situation is what tends to define us. Now you could go down the whole rabbit hole of defining things and whatnot, but we're not going to go there today. We're mainly going to speak on the reaction portion, because he broke it down saying when you make a choice to be response able, right? You're able to respond to the world, then you essentially are saying yes to life, because living is responsibility. And I was like, damn, that's mind-blowing when you think about it. Such a simple concept that when you really, think or meditate on it or just whatever, just drop in on that concept, it's so potent, because we literally are always reacting, whether it's, to other cars when we're driving, or people having conversations, even just walking by other people, or navigating through challenging times in life. We're always responding and reacting. But what's the difference between reacting and acting is a choice. And in thinking about responsibility, when you take that on and say yes to the universe and life, I think that's you saying you're going to act rather than simply react. Because if you're simply reacting to everything that comes, it can be kind of stressful, because you don't know what's going to be next, and things can get thrown your way and really throw you off your game. But when you make a choice to be response-able, you're making a choice to act. Therefore, you're not a victim. You're a victor. And if you read my book, I'm all about that try me mindset that is moving from why me to try me. And I think that's just really important to embrace with this quote here. Your circumstance does not define you. Your reaction does, because the world's going to be happening and it's beautiful. We get to choose how we want to respond to it. Reacting is amazing, but unpacking that more, taking action is so badass. Because you're not allowing things to happen to you. You're allowing them to happen for you. And I think there's so much to that. And if you're tuning in right now, there's a reason you're here. So I hope that provides value for you. I know someone needed to hear that. Realistically, it was me last week. I love getting reminders like that. And it reminded me of this quote from my book, which I thought was just so dope and badass, and something that we can all benefit from, and really think about and provide value in our lives regardless of where we're at. Because I don't know about you, but a lot of times I'll take things on and I'll think they're part of me and like my doing, my creation. And while we're always existing in the world, it doesn't mean that everything we're doing is, something that we are literally responsible for, right? Like if someone all of a sudden stubs their toe next to you, are you responsible for that? Like, no, but are you able to be response-able in that situation and act if you want to? I'm not saying you have to, but like if someone's dying next to you, this was an example that Sadhguru used. He was like, if someone's dying next to you, are you responsible? Well, you might not be responsible for why they're dying, but you are always response-able to react to the situation. And would you rather just be like a lump on a log, just chilling, letting life happen to you? Or would you rather be alive, which is responsibility? So I know it's deep, and maybe it's over your head today, but I loved it. I was all like foaming at the mouth from like a spiritual development mindset the other day, because I was like, oh, I can't get enough of this. It was so beautiful. But yeah, so I just wanted to unpack that a little bit today for you guys, because we can make things way more personal than they need to be. And when we make a choice to take action to the world happening for us, not to us, the whole world changes, I think, and you create a lot more magic in your life. And since we're all here to experience magic, experience oneness, experience euphoria, since we're all spirits having this human experience, it makes it important to really think about these ideas and how we can apply them to our lives to create more of that magic and to create more of the life that we want, which is what I talk about in my book, You Are the Rockstar, is about, noticing your life and your power to create what you want. Talk about that in chapter 4, which I'll unpack more in a future episode of the podcast. But for today, really just think about that. Your circumstance doesn't define you. Your reaction does. And you always have that power to take action in some form. Sometimes it's just getting out of bed. Other times it's taking massive action. And other times it's taking repetitive, consistent action, sometimes maybe even small steps or larger ones, depending on where you're at energetically. But just to remember that your circumstance isn't something that happens to you, it happens for you. And that's all a perspective shift. That's a choice. That is a choice to be response-able and take action towards the things in your life that you want, rather than being complacent and letting things happen to you. So I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate it. I'm not letting you go right now. Don't worry. I have a couple of things I want to share today. I put a poll on Instagram, I think 2 days ago, and I was asking people to give me questions. And one of them was, what inspired you to write your book? And this was from Carmen Luna Aranda. And I think she is Spanish. From what she said, sorry for my English, I'm Spanish, but you wrote perfect English, so there's no need to apologize. And if you want my book in Spanish, I did release that. I'm probably going to butcher this pronunciation, but Tu eres la estrella de rock. Got that one up there on Amazon, so you can check that one out. But what inspired me to write my book? You did. All of y'all. And I can say y'all now because I lived in Nashville for like 3 years. But you inspired me to write my book because guiding the meditation, yoga, mindfulness meetups before our shows for about 5 years gave me the opportunity to kind of trial by fire, if you will, what works and what doesn't work for you guys. And I got amazing feedback from you all that kind of told me what tools were the most potent. How to attract the life that you want, how to get clear about your goals, how to practice meditative techniques, breath work, things that help you navigate anxiety, stress, and depressed energy. And so that's what inspired my book, was being able to share those stories and share those practices and then having your reflections. Because after 5 years of doing that, I realized, I can't always be there in the physical as much as I want to be. I want to be able to provide value anytime you want. And I thought creating a book would be a great way to do that. So this way you have access to some of the tools that I personally have found to be really epic in self-transformation, self-development, yoga, meditation, mindfulness, in the forms of like reflective tools that allow you to up-level your life. And I think that's part of kind of like the duty of being human, is that when you find something that works, to share it with people. And sometimes it's just literally having a conversation with the homies. But I think other times it could be maybe on a larger scale, because everyone can write a book. And I would encourage everyone to write a book. Maybe I should do a podcast episode on writing a book, how to do it. That would be sick. Maybe another one. But so everyone should write a book because it causes this insane amount of reflection on why you are the way you are. And it allows for you to think about the tools in your life that have helped you to kind of be more comfortable in your own skin, or the learning lessons that you've had. For me, it was, one of the lessons of being robbed of, like 15 to 20 grand and left on the side of the road in Stuttgart, Germany by our bus driver after he robbed us, and, talking about what we learned from that opportunity. And stuff like that, from having pain in life, physical pain, that became a guiding force and a teacher towards the meditative practices of yoga, meditation, mindfulness, goal setting, all that stuff. it just causes this insane amount of introspection into your life. And it also is a cool thing because everyone, I think, in the back of your mind wonders if you could hold a thought together for more than, a paragraph. At least that's what I was wondering at first. I was like, can I even create a thought that lasts longer than a paragraph or two? I was grateful that I could, with the help, of course, of an editor. My buddy Jackson is a legend, super hands-on editor. So he would give me direct feedback after I'd write a few paragraphs or chapters and help me keep things cohesive, which is part of writing. You need somebody to proof it. But everyone should think about that, because whether, like I said, you're having conversations or you're writing or just speaking to large groups or small groups, doesn't matter. You're still, I think, obliged by life to share the things that work for you. Not that everything's going to work for everyone, but I think everyone deserves to have the opportunity to try things and see if they work for them. Yoga is a great example. I realize not everyone's going to do yoga in the traditional sense. They're not going to hop on their mat and bust out their yoga in their yoga pants, and that's okay. Totally cool. Some people find the same experience of oneness, which yoga just means to bring together, to yoke. And to me, I think that's your mind and your body. And ironically, it's about yoking them together so you can realize that essentially you are separate from those things, which is cool. But people experience that same feeling through, running or doing other physical activities or creating art. I think the thread that ties them together is the breath. And that's what you can apply into all sorts of things. But anyways, you can take what people say as a grain of salt or as an opportunity to explore. And I think part of that exploration is sharing yourself, because other people deserve to hear what you've experienced. And writing a book is a great way to talk about your experience in a way that allows other people to connect with you, because that's how we are our own authentic selves, when we share from our heart, share from our experience, and allow that inner truth to shine, which is experiential. It's a fun word. So meaning it can't be wrong. So when you're talking about your experience, you can't be wrong, which makes writing a book a lot less stressful when it's about the experiences that have made you who you are. But end rant, that'll be for another podcast about book writing. So make sure you tune in for that. Maybe I'll do that one next. That'd be fun. You guys let me know, comment below, and let me know if that's something that you would be interested in listening to. But I think that's enough for today. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. These are super organic conversations, not really a lot of editing, just keeping it real and unpacking some ideas from my book, talking about, what's going on. And I appreciate each and every one of you guys. So thank you for tuning in. You can pick up my book, You Are the Rockstar, on Amazon, on Audible. If you want to hear me speak it, I can talk it to you. And I have 2 copies, 2 versions. You Are the Rockstar, Step into Your Power, Live Your Purpose. And the second one is You Are the Rockstar, Finding Your Financial Flow, all about abundance mindset and all the things I wish I learned in high school about money. So if you get a chance, head over and check that out. If you are a Spanish-speaking individual, I have a Spanish copy. If you are a German-speaking individual, I have a German copy. And if you're a French-speaking individual, I got a French one on the way. So we're just going to keep them cruising. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. You are the rock star of your life. What does that mean? It means being willing to meet the obstacles that come at you and see them as opportunities, to embrace a try me mindset rather than falling into a why me mindset. And if you fall into a why me mindset, just get your ass up and keep going. That's what it's about. It's about getting yourself up, dusting yourself off, and keeping on going. Finding that flow that works for you, focusing, refocusing, continuing to show up and be the best version of yourself. Because a rock star is that someone that steps on the stage, and that can be like the stage of your own life. In my mind, a rock star is someone who steps up and meets those obstacles, those challenges as opportunities and moves with them. Kind of like how I flip my guitar around on stage. just move with the flow. But anyways, love you guys. Talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of You Are the Rockstar Show, and I'll see you next time.